We're joined now by the youngest MP in Parliament, Mhairi Black, SNP, by the journalist Owen Jones, who formidably walked off a Sky set last night, more than in a moment, and the queer and transgender activist Noorulann Shahid. Now, Noorulann, you see, for somebody as old as me, to say queer of somebody who is transgender and gay is difficult.
Yes.
Not today.
I think we've come a long, long way, but I think what we've got to remember is the fact that we've still got a long way to go. A lot of queer Muslims like me, we face a lot of racism and Islamophobia within the LGBT plus community itself, and then within our own cultural communities and the Muslim community, we're facing rampant homophobia.
But you don't suffer that from the gay community, presumably, do you?
Well, yeah.
You?
Yeah, what I'm saying
Really?
is that there is racism in the gay community, and it is still very much rife, and it is alive.
Right.
Yes.
Mhairi Black, what I find interesting today is that this is a moment of genuine solidarity. Often people talk about solidarity, but you can really feel it here.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fight trying to get through the crowd to get here. It's packed right the way back down the street.
It's all the way up
incredible.
Shaftesbury Avenue.
Incredible. It's
There's
fantastic.
10,000, 12,000,
Absolutely
15,000 people
fantastic.
here.
And I mean, this all started on Facebook, didn't it?
Yes.
People said they were going to join a group. It's phenomenal.
But just speak for a moment to
Yeah.
what this means in terms of coming of age. I mean, to what extent can we say this is another milestone, even though it is hinged upon the most appalling event?
Because, well, I think when I was growing up, I had a much easier time than the people older than me did when they came out as being gay. But you still see the subtle homophobia, sometimes it's blatant homophobia. And actually I think your interview last night in Sky News was evident of the subtle homophobia in that people aren't really taking it seriously. So to see this kind of reaction in response to trying to, sort of sideline the fact that it was a total homophobic attack is fantastic. Absolutely
It does seem that there were, or are, a lot of people who are not prepared to say this was a homophobic attack.
Astonishing, and my worry was that it'd be defined from the beginning. It would basically be straightwashed, if you like. The fact that it was not just a terrorist attack, which of course it was, but it was a deliberate attack, a terrorist attack on LGBT people. And it is the worst massacre of LGBT people in the Western world since the Holocaust. So we've got to understand, we've got to underline the significance of this. And this was an attack on LGBT people everywhere. We're fully aware as LGBT people of our history, which is of a long and often quite difficult struggle for the rights we have. Persecution along the way. We still live in a society, as we know here, where we face prejudice, discrimination, just walking hands in the street, things that other people take as granted. We don't have that ability often. But when we have this threat now of people who do not wish us to exist and will murder us for existing, that's why we've got this show of defiance and solidarity, not just LGBT people here, straight people united against hatred.
But even talking about straight people, are any of us straight actually? Isn't everybody just a little bit queer?
Yes, probably, definitely. As you said earlier.
Bible, John, don't you?
As you said earlier, we're here, we're queer, and we don't want to live in fear. Following on from your point, I think it's really important that we don't let what happened in Orlando to be whitewashed as well. We've got to remember that this was an attack on a Latinx club. So my solidarity, my thoughts and my prayers go with the Latinx community at this moment in time.
Well now, I mean, in Parliament,
yes.
There you are, 21, maybe you're 22 by now.
No, still 21.
Still 21, great. So there you are in Parliament, gay. How is it?
I mean, it's good because SNP's full of gay people, so we're watching with them.
No, but seriously, you've gone into a fusty old place.
Well, I'll tell you what, today was actually incredibly moving for myself because for the first time in months, you could feel genuine solidarity within the chamber. There was Conservatives nodding along to speeches that we were making, that Labour were making, and you could really feel that it was genuine. It wasn't just people trying to score political goals and jump on a bandwagon. It was a genuine, this is bad and has to change.
It would seem that you have the biggest struggle on your hand.
Yes.
Muslim, transgender, bisexual. It's a big catalogue.
Yes.
How do you smile?
I think it's really difficult for our community because there's many members who feel like we're basically a minority within a minority. And particularly following on from Orlando, a lot of us, we just don't know how to react and we feel a lot conflicted because initially I remember being really scared thinking, what if the perpetrator is Muslim? And then scrolling through Twitter and my worst fears were indeed realised. And then it's like, well, do we say this is not in our name? But then there's a lot of violence within our communities and we can't ignore that.
Well, listen, I want to thank you very much for coming. Owen, thank you so much. And Mhairi, thank you very much indeed. Well,